intermolecular space and they are tightly packed. Solid molecules are normally very, very hard and they are rigid. So, for example, let's consider a block or a chair or a table. They're very hard. It's very difficult to go through them. Even if you put your hand through them, you can't do that. Okay? So, solid molecules are very, very hard. If you look at the liquid molecular structure, so look at the liquid molecular structure. The liquid molecules are slightly far away as compared to solid, but still they are dense. Still they are more close, and they have got lot of intermolecular space in between them. And as you know, we can put our hands easily through any liquid, for that matter, water or any juice or anything, right? Then there is gases. Gases are the least bothered. They don't like to stay with each other. They like to go away from each other. So there's lot of intermolecular space between them. Because there's so much intermolecular space between them, we are living in the air, right? We are continuously, air is continuously around us. So we can easily enter into any kind of a gas. Correct? Sure. Next. So let's first start with what is matter basically. Matter is something that we studied about mass and volume, right? So matter is something that has mass and it occupies space. For example, bus, a boy, vegetables, books, ball, etc. Now, what is non-matter is our emotions. Our emotions are totally non-matter. Our prayers, our thinking, because they don't have mass, they don't occupy space. So whenever in science we talk about matter, you have to see whether that particular thing has got mass, any, let it be 0.000000005 grams. Like how an atom, the atom has got electrons, protons, everything. So in that, the matter has got negligible mass. But when together you take it, many atoms together, then they will add up to the mass. So mass should be there and it should occupy volume. So for that concept, let's consider you have kept your laptop or your phone or wherever you are and you are seeing into it. In that particular space where the laptop or the mobile is there, you cannot place anything in that space. You can put something on that space, next to it, below it, everywhere, but you can't put something in that space. So matter has a particular space. For that matter, even solids have space, will occupy space, liquids will occupy space, and when we think gases, gases also will occupy space. So all the three states of matter will occupy space and they will have mass. We feel we feel that gases don't have mass. So for that you can do a very small experiment. If you have got balloons at home, very simple it is. If you got balloons at home, you can blow one balloon and you can not blow one balloon. Keep one blown balloon on one side of a straw and keep one non-blown balloon on the other side of the straw and try to balance it. You will find that the balloon that is blown with air will be more heavier. Why? Because that balloon was filled with gas and the other balloon was not filled with gas. It was only the weight of the balloon. So the balloon that was filled with gas will be heavier. So that shows that even gases also will have mass. They will also occupy some space. Though we don't feel so when we look at it, but it is there. So all the three states of matter will have mass and they are going to occupy space. Next. Okay. So matter is something that we come across everything that in our life, solid matter, liquid matter, gaseous matter. So many examples of solids around us. We try to think of more solid examples around us. Like if you go to see right now, there's cupboard, there is table, there is chair, there is bed, there is floor, there is wall, there is building. So many things are around us. Liquid gets a little bit difficult to think. What we can think in liquid is water is there. Then we think about the tea that we drink, or the soup, or the juices that we drink. All that kind is called as liquid. When we think about gases, we are really short of words. What gas we only think is, we will think the gas that we are around us, the air. But there are a lot of other gases. For example, from the soup, when hot steam is coming out, that is also gas. Or when the lava is also boiling up and there's a lot of gas coming out of it, those gases, a lot of gases like sulfur dioxide gas is there, nitrogen dioxide gas is there. So a lot of gases come out from lava also. Yes, and then there is also the fire. When the fire is burning, there's a lot of gas being produced. That gas is carbon dioxide gas. If that carbon dioxide, if it is carbon monoxide gas, it is very dangerous. You should not be around carbon monoxide gas. So a lot of gases. And if you go to see, the air around us is made up of a mixture of gases. Like it is made up of oxygen 20%, nitrogen 70% of it, 70 to 80% of it, carbon dioxide 0.03%, and rest all we have are the noble gases like helium, neon, argon, all those kind of gases. Now, if we go to see, matter is basically made up of molecules. All these things are made up of only molecules. So if we go to break down, if we if we research them and we see all these matter and we go through the lowest level of it, we come to know that they all are made up of molecules only. So now we're going to go more into details of how the molecular structure is arranged in all this matter. Next. So, states of matter, if you go to see solids, I told you, I explained you all, they have a very fixed shape because they're very rigid, they are hard, they're tightly bound to each other. Liquids, they have a lot of space between them so they can easily flow. So they go into the container. They can take any container shape. If you put it in a glass, if you put it in a cup, if you can put it in a measuring cylinder, in a beaker, wherever you put, the water will take the shape of the container. And the gases are also same. They take the shape of the container. They can freely move. In fact, gases we can compress also. We can compress gas. So the air, the room that you are right now in, if I want the entire air to be compressed, I can compress the entire air that you are in and put it into just one small cup. So much space is there in the gaseous molecules, right? So I want you all to think, and when we have the time for you all to speak, you all can tell me more examples of solid, liquid, and gases. Not right now. Okay. Next. Okay. So this is a small activity that we would be doing in the lab whenever we meet. And if you all want, you also try it at home. You can take three different containers of three different shapes. So here I have taken first is a watch glass. The second I've taken an evaporating dish, slightly bigger. And then I've taken much bigger one, I've taken a beaker. Okay. In the first picture, if you can see, I have put a bottle cap. I'm putting the bottle cap in all the three different containers. The bottle cap is not changing the shape, nor its size, nor its weight, nothing. So that is showing that solids have fixed shape and also fixed volume. The volume will remain fixed because the size is not changing. Okay. Then we go to the same experiment, but we do it with liquid. That is, we do it with water. So if we do it with water, if I had, for example, 10 ml of water, the 10 ml of water, see why I'm telling you 10 ml, because my point to fix that volume is important. So if I have 10 ml of water and if I put it on the watch glass, or if I put it in the evaporating dish, or I put it in the beaker, in all the three containers, it is going to particularly take its shape. So the shape will be of the container. The liquid will take the shape of the container. But the volume is not going to change. It is going to remain as 10 ml only. It will not change the volume. Okay. So very important, liquids have fixed volume. but not fixed shape. So these solid and liquid differs on this point. Solid has fixed shape and fixed volume. Liquids do not have fixed shape, but they have a fixed volume. Now we go to the third example. We have taken agarbatti, and the agarbatti, whatever the smoke is coming out of it, we are trying to put it in all these all the three containers. So if you try to put it in all the three containers, you will observe that the agarbatti can easily fit in all these three completely. So if I take the watch glass, it completely all over the watch glass, which is so small in volume. If I take the next volume that is evaporating, this slightly bigger, the agarbatti will again fill up in that volume also. And if I take a bigger one, that is, if I take a beaker, the agarbatti gas will fill in that big beaker also. Why? Because gases, first of all, they don't have fixed shape at all, but they don't even have fixed volume. You can change the volume of the gases very easily. So as you'll go further and as you'll study further, gases, we treat all gases the same. See, solids, you can say there are hard solids, there are soft solids, there are different kinds of solids. But gases, we treat all gases same. So there is a common law for gases. So whenever you study gases, there are common, which you will be studying probably in your 9th standard or 10th standard. There are gas laws. So there are no gas laws for specific gases. It is just common for all because gases behave same. Let it be whatever gases. They don't have a particular volume. You can change the volume anytime you want to. Okay? I hope this point is clear that gases don't have fixed shape and fixed volume.
Yes, ma'am.
Liquids have a fixed shape but no fixed liquids have a fixed volume but not fixed shape, and solids have a fixed shape also and a fixed volume also. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Chalo. Next. Okay, so this is again an example of that only what we just saw, but it is at a more of a kind of a molecular level. So if I have a solid ice and I'm putting it in a beaker or in a cube or wherever, the solid ice will remain as it is. Okay, it is not going to its fixed shape, fixed volume. If I take instead of ice, I take water. See, the water has taken the shape of the container, but the volume will remain the same. The volume is not going to change. Okay, and water vapor, if I take water vapor, the molecules of the water vapor, they will fill up in the entire container. So that is the property of gases. They love to take maximum space. So it is like, playing hide and seek. The gases, they love to go and take whatever space they like to do. So gases molecules are very, very naughty. They just go around. They're just running around all the time. Okay. So next.
Ma'am, I have a little doubt.
Yes, tell me.
Ma'am, from solid, ma'am, we can go from solid to gas. I mean, if you take ice and start melting, it will become water, and after the next stage, it's evaporation, so it will become gas. But can it go from gas to solid?
Yes, very much. It can go from gas to solid. We're going to study about it today.
Okay,
Okay,
ma'am.
that property is called as sublimation. You must have seen it in your naphthol balls. Have you seen you put those naphthol balls, to keep away insects from the house? Those white color balls, probably on the toilet or probably somewhere in the house or somewhere. Those balls, they are solid. Okay. After some time, they will evaporate. They will not pass to the liquid state. They will pass directly to the gas state. We'll come to that point when we're going to do that today. Okay. Now, matter, as we told, any matter is made up of molecules. Okay. All those molecules that are there in that particular matter will have the same property. So if we take a molecule, like let's say chalk, which is given here, all the molecules of the chalk will behave the same. It will not be that out of chalk there are 100 molecules, 99 will behave in manner, and that one other molecule will behave in another manner. All the molecules will behave in the same manner in any particular solid, for that particular solid. Okay. That same thing will go for liquids also. And very important is that these molecules are hold on to each other. They are bound to each other by something called as chemical bonds. So we have got something that is holding these molecules together. So in solids, they are holding very, very tightly. Those are chemical bonds that are holding them. We can also call them chemical bonds. If you go more into more sophisticated language, more chemical language, you will say intermolecular bonds because they are bonds between the molecules, intermolecular bonds. Okay, so whenever we consider there's a theory which is called as the kinetic theory of matter. We consider two things: intermolecular bonds and intermolecular space. So when I say intermolecular bonds, I'm talking about the chemical bonds that is between the molecules. And when I say intermolecular space, it is the space between the molecules. Okay, next. So here, there's an example of water molecule. The water molecule, we all know water formula is H2O, right? H2O means there are two hydrogen atoms and one oxygen atom. Now, the two hydrogen atoms are such that they are holding the hands of the oxygen in between. That is how the structure is. Okay. Now, if you go to see, let's consider these small children. They are molecules, right? Now, the the hand holding that they are doing, that is the intermolecular bond, and the space that is there between them, how much amount of space is there between them, that becomes the intermolecular space. Okay, I just hope that these words are getting clear with you all. Intermolecular bonds and intermolecular space.
Mom, I can't see
Okay,
the presentation.
you have to pin yourself to KitKat Lab.
Mom, I spilled myself.
Please pin yourself to KitKat
Ma'am,
Lab.
ma'am, maybe he'll have to unpin himself and then maybe he'll see the presentation and then we'll pin pin to the
Who's that who cannot see? Did you join just right now?
No, ma'am, ma'am, I've there for a long time and then suddenly the presentation got off.
You can do one thing. You can leave the meeting and you can rejoin again.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. So just go through it once more. This is the water molecule, oxygen in between, two hydrogens at the side. These small children are like the molecules, like same way like we did in the lab. I hope you all remember we did this activity in the
Yes,
lab
ma'am. You
of
had told us, you had told some children to come up, and you had told that one group will hold their hands tightly together. Second will get us some like distance, and the third group will going to give much distance. Means we have to go very far away.
yes. So you all remember that? If you remember that, you all remember the molecular structures of solids, liquids, and gases very well, right? So, who was not able to see, can you see the presentation now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So we'll go to the next one now. So, first picture, they are holding hands. When you hold hands, you say there is a bond. When you don't hold hands, there is no bond, right? So, only if there is a bond, you say there is a bond. If they are two separate, far from each other, you will say that there is no intermolecular bonding. Okay. Next. So, if you consider solid, this is how the solid is arranged. The solid is very perfectly arranged in a very properly manner. There's, there is this solid will show space because it is a crystal. Otherwise, the solids normally don't have so much space between them. But the point of showing here is the bonding. So you check out the bonding out here, that how the bonding is happening at the intermolecular level. So one molecule is connected to many molecules, aju baju, not only the one that is next to it. All the molecules that are near to it will be bonded very tightly. So the bonding in the solid will be very, very strong. You cannot break those bonds very easily. Okay. If you go to
Ma'am,
the liquid, yes,
ma'am, in the liquid, I have a doubt that in the diagram, in the diagram is shown that there all these molecules are all the molecules are there. But if you see in the diagram, they're all very close to each other. Why didn't it become solid?
no, it is not solid. It is a liquid only. For it to come to the solid state, it has to come to very close state, very close to each other. If you can see the picture down below it, below the liquid, you can still see there's a lot of space in between them as compared to the solid. You compare the solid
Okay,
structure and
ma'am.
you compare the liquid structure. Yeah.
Okay, ma'am.
So this is kind of a like a non-magnified and like a magnified view kind of for your to
Ma'am
see it.
means in the ma'am means in the solid structure there are more molecules, but you are not showing that molecules. They are very close to each other.
Yes. They're very close to each other. Okay. Now we go to the gaseous state. Can you see any bonds between them?
No, ma'am.
No. So gases don't have bonds. That's why I said that they are like naughty children. They are continuously running from one place to the other. Okay? They are continuously moving. That movement continuous is there only. Because of that, gases uh, exert a lot of pressure because the gases are continuously moving and they want to escape from the container. So imagine if you've put a small naughty child in a room, and what the child try to do? He'll try to bang on the doors. He'll try to bang on the walls. He'll try to bang on the windows. He wants to get out of it, right? So the gas is doing the same thing. The gas wants to get out of anywhere. So gases exert a lot of pressure. So right now where we are in the air. The air, that is the atmosphere, is exerting some pressure on us. Do you know how much pressure the air exerts on us? Any
No,
guesses?
ma'am. No, ma'am.
More than 4.
What for what? Can you just say pressure with 4? You have to say a unit, right?
Pascal.
Okay, no. No, it's not right. 1 atmospheric pressure. Okay,
Ma'am, is
right
that a
now
lot?
it is not a lot. Otherwise, you would feel it. So if you keep on going more higher and higher, the pressure of the gases are reducing because there is no gas.
Yeah, ma'am. So, ma'am, is that,
Pressure is
ma'am,
such
is that
that
one of
we are
the
able
reason?
to.
So, ma'am, is that one of the reason that when we start digging deeper and deeper into the Earth's surface, we start feeling hotter because the air is exerting pressure on us?
Which digging you're talking about?
No, ma'am. I mean, when you dig, ma'am, when you start to dig the surface of the Earth, as you
Hmm.
keep going down,
Hmm.
uh, do you feel hot? Is this a reason that as you go down, the air exerts pressure on you, and the air
See, the
exerts
major
pressure on you?
reason,
That's why you feel hot.
no, the major reason you feel hot is because you're going more closer to magma. That is, you're going more closer to the Earth's core. You're going more closer to there. There
Yes.
would be a pressure that would be involved, but majorly feeling hot would not come because of the pressure.
Okay, ma'am.
Yes? Okay. So can we go to the next slide? Hmm. So now we're talking about the space. We spoke about the bonding. Now we'll talk about the space. Solid, there is no space, literally no space. Liquid, there is a space between the molecules. Gases, lot and lot of space, right? Now, because of this, we can do one very small example. We take water, we put color into it. Okay, here in the lab, we use a specific color. We use a pink color that comes from potassium permanganate, KMNO4. Okay, now when we do that, you see that the KMNO4 will easily dissolve in water. Why is it dissolving in water? Because of the space between the water molecules, that is the liquid molecules. So the water color, whatever we put, the potassium permanganate, it is able to go and fix itself into the spaces in between them. So it is like, hide and seek again. So those things, wherever they find space, they go and sit there. So basically, mixing is not a chemical thing. Mixing is a physical thing. It is just going and sitting into the spaces where it is available. So you can't mix two solid things. Can you mix an apple and an orange? You can't mix. Yes, but you can mix water and milk. Why? Because there's a lot of space in between them. So they both mix into each other. Same way for gases also. Air is a mixture of gases. There's so much space that they easily mix into each other. So mixing is basically that wherever the space is there, the other thing is going and finding a place for itself and sitting there. That is what we call as mixing. Okay. Next. Okay. This is one example. It's one small activity that we normally do in the class. What would we do is we would take, thermocol balls, small, those colored
Yes,
ones.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Okay. What do we do is if we have thermocol balls and if we just put Fevicol all around the thermocol balls and we try to make it into like a cube form. Okay. So we put it into a cube form and we let it dry for some time. Now, the other set of thermocol balls, what we'll do, we'll take a thread and a needle and we'll put it like a necklace. We'll try to fix in like a necklace, like beads in a necklace. Okay. So now if you compare the solid structure and the liquid structure, the solid structure is now become hard. Now can you shake it? Can you move it? Means can you twist it, turn it? Can you do anything with it? You can't do anything to it. The liquid molecules, which were there in like beads, like a necklace, see, it can easily take any shape. If I try to move it on that thread, if I move the thread like how a snake moves, it will easily take the shape of any container, right? And the gases, so they don't have any bonds only. So we're not showing the bonding. So the bonding here, Fevicol bond very strong in solids. The bonding is like thread bond, lot of space is there, and you can easily break it also, right? And in gases, so we are showing that there is no bonding at all. So whenever we can just take any transparent containers and just put some fight and balls into it and just try to mix it. They will easily mix. They will just keep on mixing in all the space that is there around it. So that is how we try to show the arrangement of the molecules in all the three states of matter with this experiment. Okay, next. Okay, so here it is a summary of what we did up till now. Solids, fixed shape. Liquids, no fixed shape. Gases, no fixed shape. Solids, they have fixed volume. Liquids, they have a fixed volume. Gases, no fixed volume. They will change the volume as per the container. Okay. Solids are very hard. You cannot compress them very easily. Liquids, you can compress them slightly, only slightly. Gas is easily compressible. Very easy, what I told you, the entire gas is around you, the air, I can compress it into one small container, one small cup. Solids have
Ma'am,
very little
ma'am,
space
how can you
between
compress gas?
using a compressor.
Okay.
Using a lot of machines. Using a compressor, right? Okay. So now there is very little space between the solid molecules. There is some space in the liquid molecules, and there is very large space between the gaseous molecules. Uh, the solid molecules, they are continuously vibrating. The liquid molecules, they are free, they don't vibrate. So if you remember in the experiment we did for the heat, we showed that how the solid molecules will vibrate and pass the energy from one to the other. Okay, liquid molecules, what do? They do convection. They will, once they get heated up, they move up, and the cold molecules will come down, right? That is how a convection current is there. So the liquid molecules are freely moving. The gas molecules are also freely moving, and they have lot of energy. The solid molecules have a strong bond, the liquid molecules have a weak bond, and the gaseous molecules have the weakest bond. Okay, next. Okay, so y'all have to guess and tell me which is the number B. Number B is which state of matter?
Liquid.
Ma'am, gas.
Number B is
Ma'am, liquid. Ma'am, liquid.
A.
A is
Gas.
gas.
A
Gas.
is gas.
Gas.
C is C is
Solid.
very good.
Solid.
Solid.
Okay, chalo next.
Liquid. Gas.
Okay, this is for y'all as a homework. Y'all can, as we have already told y'all, get some more examples of solid, liquid, and gases around y'all. Okay,
Okay, ma'am.
okay. Now we'll
Ma'am,
study about
ma'am, I have
matter.
a doubt.
Tell me.
Ma'am, when we are eating ice
Hmm.
cream melts at the same time and is also solid at the same time. So what should we consider that, liquid or solid?
The part that is melted is liquid. The part that is not melted is solid.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
And what is sublimation?
Hold on. Okay, we are going to it. So now, first you're going to study about intermolecular change of matter. Matter is going to change from one form to the other. It is not a chemical process, it is a physical process. The solid molecules can change to liquid. Liquid can change to gas, right? We can do it the opposite way also. Gas can go to liquid and liquid can go to solid. Now, how will it happen? Think logically and just answer and tell me, if there's a solid, I want to make it into liquid. What do I need to give it?
Ma'am, we can give it fire.
Heat
Yes,
energy.
very good.
Ma'am,
You're going to, yes,
heat.
bang on. Bang on, very good. So you're going to supply it with heat energy. If you are going from, see, from a compressed and compressed structure to a less compressed structure, you're going to supply it heat. So from solid, you supply heat, it becomes liquid. Heat you supply to the liquid, it becomes gas. Right? Now let's go opposite way. Okay? If we'll go opposite, what do you need to supply to the
Ma'am,
gas molecule? What do you need to do?
ma'am, cool it.
Cool it. So in cooling, so
Cold
in
energy.
cooling, what do you do? Do you give, what kind of energy do you give? Come on, think. Tell me. Okay. In cooling, you are taking away the heat and energy. The heat energy is being removed.
Okay,
Okay,
ma'am.
it is the same heat energy only, but you are removing the heat energy, and that process of removing heat energy is what we call as cooling. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. So if you can see, um, solid, there's a specific name that we have given to each process. Okay, let's go from the first, solid to liquid. Solid to liquid, what we normally would call it,
Melting.
melting, right? Like someone just told me that the ice cream is melting. Okay, it's melting. Liquid to gas,
Ma'am, evaporation.
evaporation. There is one concept that is evaporation, one concept that is boiling. Okay, so
Okay,
you can
ma'am.
either call it evaporation, you can call it boiling also. Okay, now
Ma'am,
let's go. Yes.
ma'am, can you again explain the changes of state because my network was lost for a few minutes.
Okay. So I just said right now that the solid is going to change to liquid. We call it melting. Liquid is going to change to gas. We call it evaporation. We can also call it boiling. Okay. Let's go reverse back. Process. Gas becoming liquid.
Condensation.
We call it condensation. Okay. Any example of you seeing gas becoming liquid?
Ma'am, rain.
Rain. Okay. What else? Anyone?
Ma'am, when we start to, ma'am, when we put boiling water into a glass, when you put boiling water into a glass, the vapor from the water vapor from the hot water turns into a liquid, and we can see it on the glass.
Yes. Right. True. That is
Ma'am, sweat.
condensation.
Sorry, ma'am.
Sweat.
Sorry.
Sweat. Okay.
No, 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 ma'am.
Fine. Okay.
Ma'am, once we
Liquid.
compress gas and then cool it.
Yeah, so I want you all to actually do one research, okay? You're going to do research on it and tell me that uh, in nature, uh, medically, which gases we compress and we use it for what use? Okay, I'm not going to give you all the answer right now. You're going to find out and let me know. In nature, there are a lot of gases that we are compressing for our use. Okay, so you are going to find out and tell me any one gas, any one particular gas that we are doing that. Okay. Now next is liquid to solid. Liquid to solid, what do we call it? Freezing. Very easy. Freezing. Okay. Now there is one thing that is what is newly mentioned for y'all is the solid to gaseous change. Okay. So when the solid changes into gas, that process is what we call as sublimation.
Ma'am, can you repeat it? Supplementation.
Sublimation. When the solid is changing directly to gas, it is not going to through the process of solid to liquid and then gas, it is becoming directly into gas, is what we call as sublimation. Okay,
Ma'am, how it
and it
happens?
we'll go to it in details. Okay, and when we come reverse of it is what we called as deposition. We'll call it deposition. Okay, this was a brief, we'll go into more details of it. Okay, next, this is a water cycle. We are seeing
Yes, ma'am.
all the changes in this. We see all the changes. So first of all, when the water is evaporating and becoming into gas. Okay, so that is a liquid state, right? Now that gas is going up into the clouds. It is remaining as gas. Okay, the clouds are still gas. Okay, when sometimes they fall near cold areas, they fall down as snow, and that is what we see them as the solid state. When they are falling down in normal temperatures like our India temperature, they will fall down as liquid, right? So basically we get to see solid, liquid, gases, all the three states of the water in the water cycle. Okay, and
Okay,
the
ma'am.
process is also involved out there, and we have seen it: the evaporation, the condensation, and from gas it is again becoming into solid. That will be the deposition. Okay, next. So up till now, anybody has any questions? I
Ma'am,
think
how does the solid go to gas
the
direct?
temperatures are so cold. The temperatures are so cold that while coming down, it automatically freezes and it comes down as solid.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. So let's continue to the next part.
Ma'am, I have a question. I'm right.
Ha, tell me. Why don't you say it only?
Ma'am, I did not understand sublimation and deposition.
Okay, we're going to do detailing into it. Okay. Can we start with the next part? That is the interconversion of matter.
Okay, ma'am.
Hmm? So the interconversion of matter, we'll go to the next slide. So we're talking about, see how the molecules are going to change. They're going to go from solid state. So how the molecular state was, they're going to melt and they're going to become liquid. After melting, they're going to evaporate and they're going to become gas. This is all is happening by absorption of heat. Okay. If we go the opposite way, gas becoming liquid, it is becoming liquid by the process of condensation, and the solid, it is becoming liquid is becoming solid. We call it solidification, or we can also call it freezing. Okay. Next. So there is you must be knowing this, that matter can neither be created nor can it be destroyed. Right? We don't have the power to create matter. Do we have the power to create matter?
No, ma'am.
Any examples where you know that man has created something new?
Yeah, they.
No, ma'am.
Tell me. Ria, tell me. Hello? Hello?
Ma'am, no, man hasn't created matter.
Yes.
A
So
man has
basically, yes. So we cannot create matter. We can only change matter from one form to the other. Okay. So keeping that in mind, we know that heat energy, right? Heat energy is what is helping us to change matter from one form to the other, right? Each time it is only just simply the molecules movement. You are, if if there is we did the heat experiment, we show that the solid molecules first they were just blindly sitting. Now we are supplying them heat, so they are vibrating. After vibrating, the movement has increased so much that now after vibration, that they have become much more away from each other. And getting more away from each other, what happens is finally they change into the liquid state. So basically, it is just the movement of molecules that is changing the state. They're going from solid state to liquid state by just the applying of heat. The same concept will apply from liquid to gas also. So if we see liquid, liquid is when we heat the liquid, what happens? The molecules that were close to the heat source, they start to move away. They start to become more lighter, more denser, and slowly in that entire process, what happens is that they completely go away from each other. So in that process, they're changing from liquid state to uh, gas state. So basically, this interconversion of matter is nothing but movement of molecules that is happening by applying of heat or by taking away from heat. That is what we call as cooling. So that is basically nothing but your interconversion of or interconversion state of matter. Okay, next. So when matter is able to change, this is basically just the definition of it. When
Hello, ma'am. I cannot hear you.
Yeah, ma'am, we can't hear you.
I think Farida ma'am got disconnected because of the network. Yeah,
No,
yeah,
ma'am.
she's there. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yes,
Yes.
Ma'am, I have posted the research on the chat section.
Is anyone not saying anything or sharing?
Mm, Farida.
Ma'am, I was checking the net and I found out that we use mercury and thermometers because it has the least, what should we say, melting point, freezing point.
What is Jhanvi's
See that?
question?
hello.
Yeah, Farida, we can hear you now.
Okay. So from where, when I wasn't audible,
Ma'am, the you were saying
From the beginning of the screen.
okay. So I was saying that this screen is just telling us the the definition of interconversion of matter. That is how one thing is changing from one form to the other, and that is what we call is that interconversion of states of matter. And we can bring about that not only by changing the temperature, but we can also bring it about by changing the pressure also. Okay, like we discussed, I told you all that we can change the pressure of the gases very easily. So by changing pressure also, you can change the states of matter. It's not only by the heat that you can do it. Okay, but right now we are not going to go into the pressure part. We're going to only study the heat part of it. Okay, so next. Okay, so now we're going to go deep into each and every part. Okay, first one is the melting process. Now, in melting, it is that the solid is changing to liquid, right? We know that the melting can be achieved only when all the molecules of the solid will receive the adequate amount of heat, and they all will change together into the liquid state by gaining the heat. So the temperature at which the solid will start to melt is what we call as the melting point of the solid. So normally we say what is melting point, and we all say that it is 0 degrees. But no, that is wrong. The melting point of ice is 0 degrees. So for ice, the melting point is 0. But if I tell what is the melting point of iron, very high, probably.
Ma'am, approximately 2000 degrees Celsius.
Yes, approximately it is more than 2000 degrees. What is the melting point of gold? So again, it goes in so much thousands only. Okay, so each and every solid has a different melting temperature. What we call it as the melting point. So the melting point is different for each and every solid. Okay, we've seen a lot of melting examples, like the melting of ice, very common example. Melting of ice creams, melting of butter, melting of candle. All these examples are readily in front of us. So we see them changing from solid to liquid. Okay. So melting is basically when you are supplying heat energy to the solid and it is getting converted to liquid state. We have done this before, that's why I'm repeating that, so that you all can recollect the concept that for the process of supplying heat, when it happens, what happens is that the solid molecules start to gain the heat, they will start to vibrate. After vibration, what will happen is that they will pass the heat energy from one molecule to the other until all the molecules have gained that heat, and finally they will start to separate out from each other. The minute they start to separate out from each other, is what is happening is that their intermolecular space is increasing. So when their intermolecular space is increasing, they are passing from one state of matter to the other, that is, they are passing from solid state into the liquid state. And that is what we call as melting. Okay, I just hope that melting is clear. See, this is how the melting happens.
Yes, ma'am.
So in melting, the solid is heated, the molecules are getting heated, and finally all the molecules will get away from each other, and that is why when they pass from one state, that is from solid state to the liquid state.
So ma'am, the heat energy weakens the bond weakens the intermolecular um, space,
Yes,
right?
yes, weakens the intermolecular bonds and hence the space increases, and so they change from the solid state to the liquid state.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, next.
Mama, checked and
Huh.
found out that carbon has the most highest melting point.
Yeah, carbon in the form of diamond. In the form of diamond, the carbon has the highest melting point. Good one. Okay. Now we'll go to the ulta process of it, solidification, or we also call it as freezing, right? So in this process, what are we doing? The heat is
We
lost. Yes, the heat is being removed, right? It is the
Yes, ma'am.
opposite of melting, and the objects are being cooled. So in cooling, what we are doing, if you go and sit, if you go into the freezer, what happens? There's continuously cold air being formed, right? So it is
Yes,
removing
ma'am.
all the heat. And where is the heat going? If you've seen, your fridge is very hot at the sides.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Yes, so the all the heat from the fridge, from the components inside, is being removed. That is why we say that it is being cooled. Cooled means you're not supplying it cold energy. You're removing the hot energy from it.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. So that is
And
what we call as solidification or freezing.
so ma'am, freezing increases the intermolecular bonds, right?
Freezing increases the,
Intermolecular bonds.
no, you cannot increase the intermolecular bonds. What can you do? Please correct yourself. Understand and correct yourself. What is it doing? Freezing is doing what?
Converting
Freezing
liquid
is,
into solid.
no. Freezing is not increasing the intermolecular bonds. It is making the bond strong. Is making the intermolecular bond strong, and it is reducing the intermolecular space. Okay. Okay. So now we'll go to the next slide. See, this is what freezing is. It is exactly the opposite of what we saw in melting. It's going from this state to solid state. So it is going from uh, more space to less space. See, there's so much space, and now it's becoming less space, and so it is changing into the other state, that is from liquid, it is changing to the solid state. Okay, next. Now we'll go to the next set, that is evaporation. Evaporation is when you say that the liquid is becoming into gas. Okay, so as I told you, evaporation and boiling are two different things. Okay, now when I say boiling, okay, have you ever boiled water anytime in your house?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, what happens?
Yes, ma'am.
What happens?
Ma'am, bubbles come out.
Ma'am, the vapor goes up.
Bubbles come up. Very good. The vapors go up. Is it that all the molecules are hot, or some molecules are hot?
Ma'am, all the molecules are hot
Okay.
when we boil water.
Okay. Now, what happens if on a sunny day you have spilled some water on your terrace or in your balcony?
Ma'am, it
Ma'am,
will
it will
get
evaporate.
evaporated.
It gets evaporated. See the word that you used. It gets evaporated. Means what happened? The liquid changed into which state?
Gaseous.
Gaseous state. So why didn't you call it boiling? Why didn't you
Gaseous.
call it boiling? Why
Ma'am,
didn't you call it boiling?
because when the evaporation process happens, that time only the topmost surface of the water gets evaporated, and not and only that part of the water is hot. But whereas down in boiling, the whole water is hot, but in seas, when you see, the down layer is cold and the hot layer is hot.
Yes,
That's
very
why
good.
it
Had I explained you all this before? Was this explained to you all before by me, or this is you know it from before?
I know this from before because we had the process in fourth also.
Very good, very good. So basically, when we say heating or boiling, all the molecules that are involved in the heating or the boiling, they all are at the same temperature. So if I'm boiling water, they all are at 100 degrees. All the molecules are at 100 degrees. But when I say evaporation, it is only the layer that is on the top. only the layer on the top, and that is what is getting heated, and only that layer is going to change from liquid state to gaseous state. But in heating or in boiling, all the molecules will simultaneously get converted into liquid to gaseous state. So that is the difference between boiling and evaporation. Examples of evaporation is the water cycle, when we are putting our clothes for drying, okay, or when we put hot when in a hot temperature we are putting a cold glass containing cold water, or probably some ice cube. At that time we see that some water starts appearing. That those all examples are of evaporation. Okay, next. Now we'll go to condensation. Now we're going opposite of it. We did liquid to gas. Now we'll go to gas to liquid. So gas to liquid, someone told me that if you have got hot vapors coming and you put some lid over it, like the picture that is shown here, if you put some lid over it, what will happen? The lid that you're putting is actually cold, right? So it is hitting a cold surface. So the minute it hits a cold surface, it is going to come back to its first form. So the gas will get converted into the liquid form, and that is what we called as condensation. Or in the water cycle, what we have seen condensation, the we say that the clouds are condensing. So the liquid whichever was evaporated from whatever water bodies, they all are going up and they all are getting condensed to form a cloud. Okay, or this example, the water glass containing cold water, you see a lot of condensed water molecules. That is the molecules that were there in the air. The molecules that were there in the air are condensing, and it is coming on the glass surface, is what we call as condensation. So is are these concepts clear, the evaporation and the
Yes, ma'am.
condensation?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Yes,
before that
ma'am.
we did melting and freezing. Both of those are also clear.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so now we go to the
Yes,
point
ma'am.
where 2 3 people are continuously asking me, ma'am, what is this, what is this? We'll go to the next slide now. Sublimation. Okay, now I want you all to imagine what I had made you all do, that all of you all were together in the solid state. You all were very, very close to each other, right? When you all were holding hands, very strongly closing hands together and very close. So you all were in the solid state, right? Now imagine that one set of students and imagine the other set of students that were like gases, and the ones that they like, they were just roaming around from one place to the other. Now if I want to convert solid to gas directly, what needs to be done? Hello, hello,
I
don't
don't
know.
know.
You're going to supply it heat, no? You have to supply it heat, no? You want to convert solid to gas. What do you need to
Yes, ma'am.
supply? Heat. But normally, if you supply heat to solid, you will tell me that, ma'am, solid, if you apply heat, it is going to go to liquid state, right? Why should it go to the gaseous state?
Ma'am,
Why should it go directly to the gaseous state? So the answer to that is that sometimes some solids, which are called as sublimable solids, okay, those solids, the energy between the bonds is weaker than the other normal solids. So what happens is when you supply it little bit also of heat, the bonds completely break. Normally what happens to a solid, when you supply it heat energy, the solid gets converted to liquid. Why? Because the molecules are going slightly away from each other. The space is increasing. The bonds are becoming slightly weak. But if supposing these sublimable solids, what happens is that the bonds are completely breaking off. They are not even becoming weaker. The bonds directly break off. And that is why the solid completely gets converted into the gaseous state. So this process where the solid is changing to gas is what we called as sublimation. The best example of sublimation, like I told you, these naphthol balls. Have you anytime seen these naphthol balls in your house?
Ma'am, I don't even know what are natural balls.
See the ones that the photographs are given on the right side, extreme right side of the presentation, where
No,
the
ma'am.
cursor is.
Ma'am,
Not seen?
ma'am, I have
Hmm.
seen.
Hmm.
Ma'am,
Okay,
I've
so
seen.
as a
I have seen.
okay, so if, as a part of an experiment, you all can try it. You all can do one thing. You all can buy some naphthol balls if you have at home. Just put it on a window. Just put it on a window for a day and try to observe what happens. Okay, you will observe that slowly the size will change. Means the solid is getting converted to gas. It is not going to liquid state. It is going directly to the gaseous state. Okay, this is one very good example of uh, sublimation. One another example of sublimation is what you all must have observed, in the movies or wherever they show science experiments. They show that a lot of gas is coming out, like the one in the first picture. Lot of gas is coming out of all the chemicals. Yeah, that is nothing but dry ice. Dry ice we are also using to keep our ice creams also we keep them cool by using dry ice. Dry ice is basically nothing but carbon dioxide in the solid form. So carbon dioxide we normally know is a gas, right? So
Yes,
carbon
ma'am.
dioxide, if we cool it to a certain degrees, around minus 200 and something, it gets converted into solid state. Okay.
Ma'am,
After
how is
getting,
dry ice made?
so the solid, the gaseous carbon dioxide is getting converted to, uh, uh, they probably store it into some containers, small containers, the gas, like how we make ice, no? The same way, we are going to make the carbon dioxide ice. So what do we do is the gaseous carbon dioxide is put into some small containers and they are freezed at minus 200 and something. I don't remember the exact temperature. At around some minus 200, near somewhere around that, the gaseous carbon dioxide gets converted into solid carbon dioxide. Now, this solid carbon dioxide, when I leave it in the atmosphere, it is not going to change into liquid. It will not become liquid. It will directly become into gas. So that gas is what comes out like. See how you can see this effect? You can see this effect, no, in the picture, white color.
Yes,
That kind
ma'am.
of effect comes, and that is why it is used in movies. It is used in science, some experiments, just to show, oh wow, so nice, it's good feeling. So it's,
Ma'am, is dry ice edible?
no, it is not edible. It's not edible, and it is
What do
because
you
it is
mean?
because
Dry ice is
it
not.
dry ice is what?
Dry ice is carbon dioxide.
Yeah, so
You
you
can't
can't.
eat it.
You can't eat it. Yeah, exactly. You can't eat it. So you can't dry ice. We don't want to eat also because dry ice you can't even touch it. because it is at minus some 200 degrees. It is very, very dangerous to touch it also. So you should not touch it. Otherwise, your skin will stick to it. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Hmm? Okay. So is sublimation now clear to you all?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So sublimation is basically happening because the bonds are weak, and as soon as you're supplying it little bit also of energy, heat energy, they're getting converted into gas, completely into gas. Okay. Now, if I want to do the opposite of it, so for doing the opposite of it, what do I need to do? I need to trap these vapors. I'll be trapping these vapors in a cool surface. So if I trap these vapors in a cool surface, they get converted into solid state again. They will not go through the liquid state. They will go directly into the solid state. And that process is what we call as deposition. That is what we're going to see in the next slide. So deposition is when the gas is getting converted directly into the solid state. Okay. So for doing that experiment, if you've seen in the experiment, the second picture, they've shown iodine. Iodine, I don't know if you all have heard of iodine. Iodine is a
Yes, ma'am.
atom. Yes.
Ma'am, we have done an experiment on starch with the iodine solution.
Okay, yes. So iodine is something that will get sublimed also, and on sublimation, if you touch something or some cool surface, like how the photo has shown that a person is catching some evaporating dish out there. There you can see again the iodine molecules are being formed again. So that is process is called as deposition. Means the solid is getting converted to gas, and the gas is again getting converted to solid, and that is what we called as deposition.
Ma'am,
Yes.
excuse me, ma'am. Ma'am, is
Yes.
the first picture snow, ice?
First picture is of ice, but it is not ice exactly. It is just showing the process that it is forming solid again. The picture has been taken for that.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. So is sublimation and the opposite of it, that is deposition, clear?
Yes,
Uh,
ma'am.
Ma'am, I did not understand how it happens.
Who was that?
Mummy.
Okay. I told you all that solid molecules, if I normally heat it, any solid, let's take ice. If I'm heating ice, what is going to happen to it? Explain me the molecular level of it.
Ma'am, gas has a lot of space.
No, no, just tell me ice is there. If I'm heating ice, what is happening?
It is converting into liquid, ma'am.
Why? Why?
Ma'am, because the molecules, the bond between the molecules become weaker.
Weaker, right? Now, what happens when I'm taking this sublimable solids? I'm telling only the name sublimable solids. Huh? Not all solids are sublimable. Only some solids are. What happens to these sublimable solids is that instead of the bond becoming weak, the bond is just breaking off. The bond is completely breaking off only. So if the bond is breaking off only completely, they are not passing into the liquid state. They are directly going into the gaseous state. So that is how the sublimation process occurs, because the bonds are very, very weak.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. Next. So this session is finished out here. So we have done the solid states of matter, the three states of matter, solid, liquid, gas. We saw that how they are interconversion takes place, why it takes place. because of heat, because of taking away the heat, what happens? We saw a new case also, that sublimation that is taking place. So all these points we covered it today. Any doubts in any of these processes or in any concepts?
No, ma'am.
I've heard only one no.
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
No. So as a homework, no ma'am, no. As a homework, you are going to do this experiment. If you have naphthol ball at home, you're going to place it on the window near the sun. Okay, so that it gets more heat. Why? Basically near the sun, so that it gets more heat. And try to see if you see any liquid part of it coming, or do you see that it is just disappearing slowly. It is becoming small and small and small. Okay, so if you all can do that, you will uh, you will be able to see sublimation process in a much better manner.
Ma'am, can we do the sublimation process by bathroom purifiers?
By what?
Bathroom purifiers.
What is a
Bathroom
bath? What
purifiers.
what is a bathroom purifier?
Ma'am, it's like an air freshener, so we keep
The
it in the bathroom
freshener.
for some
The
days and then
freshener.
it
The
yes.
fresheners.
Yeah.
Those are not purifiers. Those are the fresheners. Okay, you can try it with that also. It will take place with that also. You can use those air wick. No, what do they call the air fresheners? You can try it with that also. It will happen with that also. The bathroom fresheners.
Ma'am, if you allow, can we get this presentation?
You want the presentation?
Yes, ma'am. Can you please send it?
We'll check it out. Okay. Why? Anything you want in the presentation specifically?
Ma'am, I want to briefly understand even more by myself, ma'am.
Okay, fine. We'll check it out if we can send the presentation to you.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. So for tomorrow, until we meet tomorrow, uh, tomorrow we'll be doing more about the periodic table, right? So before you all come in for the class, I want you all to have either a printout of a periodic table or something. I think it must be in your books. Just see through the periodic table
Yes, ma'am.
once.
Ma'am, it's in the activity book.
Just, yeah, it's in the activity book. So I want you to just see into the activity book, into the periodic table before you all come in for the class tomorrow.
Okay, ma'am.
Yes?
Okay, ma'am.
Oh,
Okay, ma'am.
okay. Thank you.
Bye,
Bye.
ma'am.
Thank you,
Bye,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Bye, ma'am. Thank you,
Bye.
ma'am.